because it's at the end.
Right.
Steve's kind of refereeing about what's really going on, and you did this. And then he has his lie detector test that back up that, hey, you're a liar, hey, you did this. And then he goes as far as, because he was an ex-police officer, as the pressing charges on people, especially when it gets to molestation or of children.
Okay.
So I wanted to really touch on this subject because I've seen so many broken men.
Yes.
So if you could share with me what, you didn't enlighten us of what you do, but just more of how would you heal someone? How would you help someone? Not heal, because it's not your job to heal them.
Well, actually,
to show them how to heal.
Exactly.
Right.
It is to point the direction. And I think the first thing you have to recognize is the wound. There is a wound there, and you have to address that. And if you are still in a macho phase, or you're going to tough it through, or you're not going to look at it, you don't want to take it down from the shelf and really look at it. Look at the ugly truth that's there, wherever that wound came from.
Right.
If you're not willing to do that, as that first step, there is nothing else that's going to move you forward in a way that's going to be lasting. We tend to do a lot of, paste paste over it or paint it over, whatever, healing.
Right.
But until you're really ready to look at that wound and say, I need to go back and heal that before I can kind of put a nice face on where I am right now. I have to be willing to look at that. And so that's why I say if people are ready to look at that wound, then the healing can start, because you have to kind of unpack what that is. Where did you get the wound from?
Right.
What kind of wound is it? Is it something that you suffered at what point in your life? From birth to where you are now? Or even the birthing process itself may have been traumatic to you. Because we find now that people don't just inherit things genetically, as in what's in the DNA that we know of, but epigenetically, meaning that we inherit feelings, emotions. We inherit the trauma that our parents may have felt, even back to our conception. So the point is that you have to be willing to figure out where those wounds are coming from. And if you get a wound in one place, it's more than likely that you're going to continue to seek that same wound. That's
over and over again.
That's the point.
And that's where that dysfunction never stops. And it goes perhaps on generations and generations. It's so true. And I like Sigmund Freud because he created these tiers, the human tiers, and which we all have to go through in order to get to the tier of success in our lives. And then you got the id and the ego. And I always say to people, your ego will kill you. Your morals will save you. Your integrity will save you. The way to know right from wrong is to know what's bad and what's good. You know to tell a lie is bad. You know to tell the truth is good, right? So you know to hit someone is bad. I mean, you have to sometimes go back in your life. And even though we didn't get it from home, that your parents may say, hey, listen, you've seen your father be broken. You've seen him the weakest link in your home. You've seen your mom the strongest person because she held all of you up when he was down, when you had nothing to eat. So who do you mark yourself after, her or him? So when you see men do what their fathers did, then you know that's a continuation of being broken. So I want to, Tanya, go ahead. Go ahead. Chime in, please. Chime in.
Well, that's the way
I'm very passionate about that.
I don't know. That's the way I feel. I'll give you, for example, complete transparency about my family, my maternal side, my paternal side. Even though my mom and my dad aren't related, their family dynamics are similar. They both sides went through something early on. It wasn't the worst, but it was pretty heavy. And as a child observing, an only child straddling the line in the middle of it, I can look. I guess it's an anointing that God gave me to be able, I guess, to be in this unique place as an adult, and even before I reached the age that I am now in my 40s, is just being able, being able to look at both sides and see, this is where that's coming from. On my dad's side, there was a lot going on. My grandfather had issues of, I would say, some sort of abuse. And I didn't say how deep it is, but it was abuse nonetheless.
Right.
And I see how it trickled over into his parenting style with my father, my uncles, my aunt. And I'm putting it out there because if you don't say anything, it just keeps, perpetuating and building and growing and just keeps perpetuating that lie, that secret that you want to keep back. Right. Sometimes you just have to pull that rug up and all the gunk and the dirt that's underneath. You just got to let it be free, let the wind get it out, birth it, sweep it.
That's right.
Not under the rug, but sweep it and address it. Look at the particles and examine what the root of it is. Because if you don't get that root, the root is what will continue to birth forth these negative seeds. And then there will be no progress. You'll have some measures of progress in life, but it will always be hampered because you never dealt with the root of the issue.
Yeah, right.
And with my dad, I see, anger comes from a lot of places, but lots of times it's misplaced. You don't really know what you're angry at, but when you find yourself getting angry frequently at the drop of a dime, there's an issue there. That just doesn't come out of nowhere.
Where do you think, because I actually know a few men that are like that.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
Childhood. Childhood, their teens, something happened where they didn't learn properly how to deal with issues. So therefore, it comes forth as anger. What anger is a label that's faced over what the real truth of it is. It's not anger.
It's a cover-up.
It's the cover-up.
Right.
But the real issue is behind it. And I found it by looking at my own family, and I feel like I'm anointed. Like I go to church.
Right.
I got baptized after attending my church, Grace Baptist Church in Mount Vernon, New York. Pastor Richardson, we deal a lot with men, the men's ministry, children's church, getting it early. Everyone coming from diverse backgrounds, but men coming together. The men's breakfast on Saturdays. We come together because there's certain issues that men should be amongst men to deal with, and then there's time where we need to commingle genders so that we can address what issues we have with each other and get the root of where these issues are coming from, because it will plague every single relationship you have, whether it be personally, familially, or in your love relationship, or your professional relationship, and that can hamper your success in life. Right. Things that come from home that aren't dealt with, which are mislabeled and come out as either anger or being erratic or not being able to cope. Men are supposed to be strong, but on the other side of that, you should be in touch with your feelings. True strength is not in your brain, it's in your brain and in your spirit and in your soul and how you deal with issues. Men in the earlier generations weren't taught that. Being that they weren't taught that, how can they teach their sons in later generations? Thank God in our generation, there are self-help gurus, there are spiritual leaders, decent spiritual leaders. There are groups mixed gender groups that deal with the issues that overlap from the between male and female dynamics.
Right.
These are the things that help men have healthier relationships, not just with their mate, but with their mothers, with their aunts, with their children.
You touch on something, Tanya, because I feel a lot of men have psychological issues, not only from their father, okay? Because in the last generation, a lot of fathers weren't around, okay? This generation, all right, it's because their fathers weren't around in the last generation, a lot of women were responsible to raise these children, and especially the men. And this is where they went wrong. Right. Not a lot of women, because I can credit a lot of women that I know someone who raised 8 boys on her own, and every one of them became somebody. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay? And to this day, they call her every day, and they walk that state. They've never broken the law. Not one of them ever gotten arrested, but the father who left them did. So it was a blessing that he left that environment, because he could have placed them with his disease. Right. You understand? Mm-hmm. Right. So she did a great job. I'm putting it on all women. And I say majority of women are screwed up. All these women that are on drugs, that are abusing these children, who are leaving their children for other men that are not their child's fathers. Exactly. They're not. It's hard for your sons to grow up and respect a woman if he never could respect his mother.
Exactly. True. That's true. And the real problem, as I see it, is that the masculine and the feminine is out of balance, period. I mean, when we think about looking at the relationships of men and women around the world, not just here, because we're messed up here, but we're messed up everywhere.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Think of how many places in the world you can think of where you place the same emphasis on women's needs that you place on men.
Right.
How many places in the world can women be killed for disagreeing with what the masculine
they can't even be educated.
So part of the overall problem I see is that for quite a few thousand years we have been living under a system where we have valued more the masculine and not the feminine. And so this is something that plagues both communities because, as Tanya was saying, if men are supposed to be able to both be strong physically and show emotions and be strong that way, that's not valued. Then you're weak. Then you're, a wuss or whatever. And so people don't take you as seriously as those people who want to show masculinity in a more traditional way. Okay. And right now there is a lot of movement in many communities trying to bring forth that divine feminine again that has been so neglected, so that we can now stand as equals and we up this imbalance between the masculine and the feminine so that we can work at lifting each other up rather than you did this or this happened here. And it can be a time of mutual respect and admiration of men and women.
You're right. I'm going to get to a caller on that now, but you're absolutely right. Equality. Okay, 1 second. Hi, it's the Hunter and Friends Show. Who's on?
Yeah, this is Minister Bruce. I'm just listening to your conversation about men. Ladies, I don't want to bust no bubbles, but let me deal with it from the biblical point of view. You read in Proverbs, the father tells his son, heed to his words. He's trying to train his son. Now, I'm going to say train, but he's trying to teach his son. Most men are not there to help their sons because, like I said before, there's issues that you're brought up, but you have to understand, are we talking black, white, Spanish, or are we talking different cultures? The black culture does not have a clear understanding how to raise their son.
They don't.
See,
He's
because
right.
No, they don't. Because number
right.
one, that you have to spend time with that male child. Time. Not just take them to the movies, feed them, and go out the door and go to the bar. You got to hang out with him to show him the things of life. Young ladies, y'all learn how to do certain things. A man can sew, a man can cook. These are precious things. But some women, I'm going to be straight up, don't know what to do with a male child. So therefore, they go to the church and they look for the deacons and the pastors to raise their child. When you're in the situation the way it is, sometimes the deacon ain't got it right. Sometimes the pastor ain't got it right. You got to search the Word of God and sit down with your son and show them what it is that a man does. It's in the Bible. You don't have to go to somebody else. You sit down with them and spend time. I got a son. This is his last year of college. I sit down with him. I told him, I said, if you tap something and she gets pregnant, you on your own. See, that puts fear in his heart. Because, number one, I told him, that's not yours. Now, the thing is, would he yield to it? Yeah, he's yielding to it. Because he knows that he wants to keep his father's love. And I want to keep my father's love.
You're absolutely correct. Hold that note.
Yeah, go ahead.
Minister, I'm going to on the line. Hi, it's the Hunter and Friends Show. Who's on?
Hello?
Hello, it's the Hunter and Friends Show. Who's on?
Hey, Hunter, it's Tammy. How are you today?
Hey, Tammy. I'm greeting you. As everyone would know, if you were on our, not last show, but Tammy was actually on our Celebration of Women show, and she read the most beautiful poem, and her poetry is awesome, and I'm really happy that you're pursuing that and sharing more of that with us because it's very positive, Tammy. So I would like to thank you. So I'd like to welcome you to the show, and please chime in on our topic today of empowering men so far from what you've heard.
Well, I'm going to chime in. I've seen so many cycles being repeated and repeated and repeated. I've heard so many men say how they're going to do different by their children and choose to walk away. Walk away altogether. There are so many young boys out here coming of age who have never even spoken to their fathers or seen their fathers. And it saddens me. It really does. We've got men in the military who have children who have never seen them. They get a girl pregnant, and then they just take off, and that's the best place to run to, for them anyway. And it leaves the child here, and the mother has got to figure out what to say. What do you tell this kid? It's happening over and over again. Their fathers left them, so they left their children. And, my thing is, as a mother, and as a single mother, mind you, I've gone through my adversities raising my children, and I've never shut a door to any parent, any father of my child, yet they choose to shut the door themselves. I can't make someone be a father. None of us can. It's either in you or it's not. We as women make decisions. We lay down, and we take the risk of having children. And the best way to prevent this and better not have another generation of fatherless children is basically to get to know the person that you're spending your time with before you get pregnant. It's easier said than done. Take precautions. We all have the knowledge to take precautions. There's no excuse for it. I don't care what type of financial situation you're in. There are clinics. There are all types of ways to get what's needed to keep you from getting pregnant. Here's the problem. Now you're a single mother and you're raising young men. You need to sit down with these young men from the time they're able to understand what's coming out of your mouth. And you need to tell them what's expected of them in society. Don't coddle them because you feel bad that you chose the wrong man as their father and now they're stuck without one. That's no excuse to make excuses for them. You have to expect them and make sure they know that you expect them to grow as a man. You have responsibilities, and you need to start that age appropriately from the minute they understand you. And then they know there's responsibilities. There are things that are expected of me as the male in this household, period, point blank. If more mothers, and I'm not trying to put it on our sisters. God knows, Hunter, you know me. I love our sisters. But stop coddling these young men. Let them know that this world is not going to coddle you. You have expectations, and you need to stand up. And if they are raised to know this, then just maybe there's less chance of that cycle repeating itself.
That's true.
That's what, I really believe that. My son's 12 years old. He's responsible for the trash. He's responsible for his, lots of things around this house, as well as my daughter is. But, he gets depressed. He gets sad that his father doesn't want to know him. It's his father's loss. That's no excuse for you to not be a young man. The best one you can be.
That's true. Let's look at our different neighborhoods, okay? And what's raising the child in the different neighborhoods. Let's take a neighborhood where a child plays tennis. Let's take a child that learned how to play paddleball. Let's take a child that learned how to play handball. The environment of the child. Yes.
Yeah, he's on. Can you speak up a little so we can hear you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, let's take the situation of a child playing tennis and another child that plays handball and another child that plays paddleball. But now he gets into tennis, and it's a whole different landscape for him, put it that way. He gets to see different types of people. The child that plays handball, he only sees one type of people. You're not going to find a handball court in a better community. You're going to find it in the project, Orchard Beach, Queens, the tennis court in Riverdale. Now,
right.
Would a child in Riverdale mess up? Oh yeah, he'll mess up too. The mom and pops, got a divorce. He go down in the hood and hang out. The guy that's in the hood, he ain't going to Riverdale and learn anything because he doesn't know how to travel. See,
you're right.
We look at our children, and I always look at it this way. If I tell you the story about the different women in the Bible, there are women who want something and they got it. And then there's other women in the Bible that don't want anything. Same thing with men. There's certain men in the Bible that stand tall. And there's others that fall by the wayside. Anything that you want to teach your child, especially a male child, is tell them a good story from the Bible. Let him dig into something and let him find himself. See, because, number one, like I said, I ain't got no shame in my game. I just tell it where it is. Okay?
Right.
If somebody introduced him to marijuana, he gonna hit it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. But if you warn him ahead of time, look, you get a job, you got to take a drug test. You find drugs on you, hey, you can't get the job. Young lady,
absolutely.
If you doing certain things, in the street, you get them Gucci pocketbooks and Gucci shoes and Louis Vuitton and stuff like that, and you living in the ghetto, you know you're doing something wrong. See, let's deal with the issues. Let's deal with the issues. I'm not blaming nobody, because it ain't nobody perfect but Jesus Christ. But yet and still, we can work together and do things like your men in the bikers club. Let them get 2 or 3 buses. Load those kids up on those buses next summer. Take them into the wilderness. Show them something.
No.
Find out what type of tree is around them. They don't know that.
They don't.
And see,
they don't.
These are the things. Some of them children ain't never been to the beach.
That's true. That's true.
See, we cannot control what our children do. We only can.
We need to reconnect. But every male and that's where you get the male and female where we need to reconnect. Men need to heal. We together because
all right. Back in the 60s, it wasn't all what you had today. In the 60s, you didn't shoot nobody.
Right.
These kids today are so scared they're ready to shoot you because that's their defense. Yes, a lot of them are dying every day.
A couple.
Every day.
Minister,
I don't care what. Go ahead.
A couple of weeks ago, I lost my cousin. Actually, not a week. Yeah, like about a month ago, I lost my cousin in Patterson, New Jersey. She was young, in Nigeria, and she was shot in a crossfire for some punk, and I call them punk because they were. And they're using weapons. Back in the day, even though violence was not accepted, but if you had to resort to it and to protect yourself, you put up your fist. You don't put up guns and you don't put up knives. And it goes back to what our parents are teaching us, what music is displaying to in the rap videos. Because I think rappers aren't as hard as what they portray, but they need to, as a rapper in music, you have to know that you're being set for, put out an image, just like a husband or a boyfriend. You know that you're in this relationship. If you have children, she has children, you have to set a positive example. But
you got these women are going out with guys that their pants are hanging out and their drawers are showing while they're walking down the street. And the first thing they say, that's their boob.
I know. Tammy?
There's certain words, there's certain words that, degrades a man and degrades a woman. They calling each other the B word. And the thing is, like I said, if you put them on, they don't even come out to go to the PTA meeting. Tap any school and find out how many parents. But if you go to a white community, oh, hold on, they got all the mothers and fathers up in that school.
Oh boy.
You understand?
I want to
and see.
And
what,
you don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Honda.
Huh?
Honda. Let me say something here. You know, I'm sitting right here in the white community, and we got just as many issues with fatherless children, you know, as when I lived in a non-white community and wasn't in a gated community that I put myself through school to get here and struggle with children on my own. I don't think that the problem our children are having is either racially or ethically or anything else related. It's happening in all ethnicities, in all communities. You know, listen, the rich people just have enough money to hide it better. But these kids aren't being, fathered any better than the rest of us. I know black men who are the best fathers I've ever seen in my life, and I give them the most props I can. Believe me, I do. I'm telling you, it's a cycle going on. We got too many females accepting men who aren't manning up. Period, point blank. The sisters need to rise up, take control of themselves. Don't fall or accept less than you deserve. And if these men realize, wow, these women aren't going to tolerate us half-ass doing it anymore, we need to step our game up, then maybe, just maybe, there'll be a change in society in all neighborhoods, no matter what the race is, no matter what. You know, if at women we allow some man to move into our house, sit on our couch and play video games and smoke cigarettes or smoke blunts or whatever the hell he's doing, whether his pants are pulled up or pulled down is irrelevant. We need to stand up and say that we as women expect more and will no longer accept less from you, the men of our society, of our generation. And that's what it boils down to. We can't raise children to be better men when we as women are accepting men who are less than.
No, that's amen on that one. Right. And I got to say,
that's one of the things that you look at. It's the fact that our system has set it up so that if she's a single mom, she could get an apartment. But if a man is a single dad, he cannot get an apartment.
Oh, no, he can't. He's got to fight to get some food stamps. It makes it a lot harder for a man to step up and raise his children on his own.
Right. Now, let me show you now. Our economy is bad. Like you said, white, black is not a racial thing. It's a money thing, okay? But the thing about the money is this. Where is your spirituality? Are you taking your son and your daughter to a place where you can sit down and worship together in truth? See, because I don't care how you look at it, the average person go on the street corner and he starts talking. Yes.
Okay. Let me interject for a second. I wanted to address something she said, and I agree with her. One of the most pitiful things I've heard a man say was he was not successful in his marriage of being a man, so he couldn't find a job. He wasn't a good father. So I said, okay, you're copping out. He said, yes. I said, so what are you doing now? He's dating a man. So instead of manning up, because she said she was after him to get a job, she would help her with the kids. That was too much responsibility for him. So now he has gone over to the other side and decided to be with a man because he said men understand him. What is going on in the world today?
Remember I told you, I think it was 2 weeks ago, a week ago, I can't remember, but the lack of education. Yeah, I heard you. See, the thing is, some sisters have a degree. Some men don't. There's a book called Black of the Berries, Sweet of the Juice. The sister got an education. The field hand does not. But she's looking at that field hand because she wants a man. She's not looking at the issues. She's looking at what she wants. Some people can sit and do something to help somebody else. If a woman helps a man and pulls him up, and he gets where he want to get at, then he'll leave her because he thinks he'll ride. It happens every day. Every day. Then there's some sisters who they got a good man but won't treat him good. It happens every day. In the good neighborhood and in the bad neighborhood. It doesn't make no difference. See, what I'm looking at, somebody has a biscuit. They can cut the biscuit in half and share it. But they're not going to do that. Most men can, great men can cook, braid hair, sew, and everything else. But when it's time for him to get up and do something, he can't do it. Something's going to block him. Something's going to block him. Or he comes home and, all right, I give you a scenario like this way. He leaves out the house, he goes to work. She's home with the children. She doesn't have to be home with the children. They can work together. But what happens? He goes out. He comes home. She wants to go out and hang out with her friends. She's been in the house all day. Those kids been in school. When they came home, she wasn't ready. It happened. You know, the issue could go both ways. But what I'm saying, either women get together and pray, and men get together and pray, have some kind of structures at each other's houses to build each other up. Look, a bunch of people from another race will get together and live in one house and help the other person to get the next house.
Boogie, I put you on the line. Do you feel like you want to chime in on this one? Boogie? No, I guess she's just listening. No, you're absolutely correct. I'm really, you know, like I told and I shared with everyone my passion for why I'm doing this segment. And, you know, like Tanya actually told her testimony, and I'll tell mine. I am no preacher. I'm not a self-help guru. I'm not a coach. But all my life, I was blessed and able to see right from wrong in a lot of things that happen in this world. And I'll tell you, in my family, I've seen enough dysfunction where I've had uncles that were pimps. I've had cousins that followed my uncle's footsteps and became a pimp. And you have female cousins, and you have aunts in your family, and you're doing this. You're degrading women. So I said, you know what? This has to. My cousin is now straightening out his life after doing a bid for degrading women. That's what I tell him. Because that couldn't carry on for long. And I wanted him to change his life. The time he came out and he did something wrong again, God made sure he put him back in jail and said, straighten up your life before it's too late. Because you is right. And God bless his mother because she's no longer alive. She did not see it. She heard about it, but did not see it. And by the time she was dying of ovarian cancer, he seen her. It was kind of too late, you know, for her to even see him straighten up his life. So I just want to say to all you men out there, get your life right. Get it right. A lot of men, and I understand, I've heard, I'm not even going to go into it, I was born this way and that way. To me, being gay right at this moment in my eyes is the only cop because you don't want to be a man. You know, and for me to see that was who told me, well, I tried my wife. She threw me out because she told me I needed to help with the kids. I needed to help provide. Then I moved out. I was with the neighbor in the building, and she threw me out because I wasn't helping with the rent. So now I'm with him, and now I can stay home, and I can cook and do all those wonderful things I want to because he now supports me. That is a cop-out. So what do you tell your children? I mean, how?
Well, quite frankly, it's all a cop-out. But you know what? There's a grace in being the stay-at-home dad or the stay-at-home mom. Either way, there's a job and there's a responsibility. Okay, fine. If you do not work outside the home, whether you're male or female, there are contributions that need to be made to that family so that the brunt of the weight doesn't fall on that other mate. Right. If you are going to be the one
Absolutely.
That mate who goes out on the front line every day outside into the world can definitely be able to feel supported. That means at home, all of the household things that concern the children, whether if you're home, dinner should be started, homework should be started, should have their snack, they should have their recreation time, have their snack, and get to their studies. If you're not doing this, there's many different ways to have your support. Right. So,
absolutely.
Popping out, brother, you didn't want to work outside the home, and you wanted to be the house husband. Right. Do your research. Michael Keaton, 1983. Hello.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Action for what he could do outside the home by first doing that work and supporting his family inside the home. So that's a cop-out, whether you're gay, straight, lesbian, bi, whatever, rainbow coalition, whatever it may be.
Right.
Whatever it is, it's a cop-out when you do something like that. Because what happens when your new mate asks of you something and it's too much? So now, I'm married, girlfriend, you try the husband, the male. So what else is there for you to try?
Animals. That's the only one that might have you.
even a beast of burden. They're tired of you. Some people sit down in the middle of the road and say, a horse will
kick you in the ass.
Kick you off of him. A bull is the same way. So either way, you have to find what your passion is. And if you don't know what it is, start at home. But don't just cop out on life, because to me, it's a waste of skin and the gift of life that God has granted you.
Now, I got to tell you, thanks for that, Tanya, your input. There's a guy who actually made a business out of the dysfunction of men. He has, and it's growing. He actually hired a team of men that work, and they help pick up the slack of fatherhood in single women's homes who have children. The sons have basketball games, and they pay for the service. I would like to help raise money for them. It's like a rented dad or rented husband, and but it's like for family. Yeah, and this woman said it's awesome because even though she don't know who her spouse is, he doesn't know who her spouse is, but this man, she's a background check on psychological test. He's registered with the state as a baby, and he will go and go to his basketball games, his t-ball games. He sits in on her PTA meetings when she's at work. They converse with each other. There's a friendship. And then they did a story about him. They went to his home. He's married with children. So at the end of the year, he throws a holiday party, and he invites all the family that hire him. He gives back to them by throwing a party, and then they met his. I think it's wonderful. Godly business. Entrepreneurism. What he's doing is he's healing families in the process. These are less and less children will grow up without, feeling. They will grow up without having that void. And if he can fill it, yes, he should pay for his time and energy, because it's not. It costs to be able to do the things. Gas costs money. Take them back and forth. That's
so
true.
I think there's absolutely nothing wrong for him charging a fee. You have enough families, and trust me, this business will grow exponentially, and that you're kind, decent, responsible. Well, I don't see anything wrong with it. And it's a doggone shame that someone else's husband or father should have to pick up the slack for the broken ones. But then again, there are some that still are on the journey to healing their brokenness. Right. So we're not talking about them. We're talking about those that want to stay out in the broken pool and love to languish there. Those are the ones that we're talking about. And let's, as Tammy said, and those broken sisters too, that would rather cop out instead of trying to find a way to heal.
Exactly.
In the movie She Hate Me by Spike Lee, one of the characters said, not to know is one thing, but to choose not to know is another.
That's right. Hi, I just put another caller in. Boogie, are you on? Boogie, are you on?
Did I lose her? Well, if she's not there, I do want to give my testimony just a little bit.
Please.
You know, I come from I think a little bit different background in that my parents are still married, still living together.
Wow.
Still, I think there's about 60 years now they've been married.
Wow.
And my dad was the dad for everybody else, you know.
Right.
For my cousins and on both my mother's and my father's side.
Right.
If you were getting married, my dad was walking you down the aisle.
Oh,
you know, if you were and needed something, he used to say he was the Bank of Savoy because everybody who, needed could come to him. And so when I hear about someone else providing that service, you know, I look at what it's done for my family, just to know that there's some man there that people can look at and say, this is what it means to be honorable. This is what it means to be in service to the women of the family. This is what it means to have someone. And all of the particularly the male children of the family have been able to look to him when they couldn't look to their own father.
Right.
You know,
that's right.
My older sister got divorced when her kids were pretty young.
Right.
And so they were really looking to my dad and to my cousin's husband, who is still around, and to my divorced husband. But that came much later. But
right.
It was really the idea that you could look for someone in the family to show you what you were supposed to do.
Right.
And even though the family is intact, I like what Tammy was saying about you have to show people in your family, whether they're male, they're female, whatever, that there are expectations of you. So that when you go out there in the world, or who you are inside yourself, who you are as a spirit, can look and say, these are the things that are expected of me. These are the ways I'm supposed to be. I'm not out, running the street because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, on the other end. And so if you can have that in the family, regardless of whether it's intact or not, it can guide the young people in the family to doing the right thing, to staying in school, or to finding their career, or to finding the love that they want, because you have some kind of example in the home. You have some kind of partnership between masculine and feminine, even if it's not your particular mate. But you can look and say, go look at this one. Look at this relationship. Look at the way some people are operating in the family or even in the neighborhood around you, and show this as the example of here's what should be going on, and here's what's expected.
You're absolutely right. Boogie, are you on?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
I'm here, dear.
Yes.
You're echoing.
Okay, I'm listening to what you guys are saying. Everyone has valid points. I tend to feel like a lot of times, even at my job, a lot of men are walking around wearing a mask. And they're hurt, and they have layers of hurt. There's not just one level of hurt. There are layers of hurt that they're going to carry around. So, when a lot of times these fathers are not in the home, but there are fathers in the home that are guilty of, ignoring their children. I know because I've experienced it. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's so many different angles to come from in this topic of discussion. So, but I'm enjoying what everyone is saying. I think is very valid. With everyone's points are very valid.
Oh, thank you, Boogie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, you're just swing.
Yeah, you guys can hear me.
So, and also, Terry, I have a child. I have a 21-year-old son, and we have great talk. And I realized I really job, and I don't really want to be. I want to be humble about it. But I have such great talk with my son, and he said to me, like Tammy said, you have to let them know what's expected. And I've always spoken to my son and told him what's expected of him. And my ex-husband has made grave mistakes in his life, to the point that my son will say, I'm glad he made those mistakes, right, which is sad because it cost him our family, his marriage. But I'm happy he did them because my son learned not to be like him. My son said to me, Mom, men are so focused on women's vagina that they miss what they're here for. Right. He said there's more to a woman than her vagina. Then he said, because the sun is way out there. Am I correct, Boogie? He made a moist hole. It's what connects to the moist hole that makes it important. And men become with that moist hole, obsessed with that moist hole, and forget to look up and say, wait a minute, because of this moist hole, I have a family that I have to provide for, that I have to stay, to keep monogamy because of all the health risks that are out there. Yeah. Because to me, I look at cheating, when you, at this day and age, with Ebola, with AIDS, with syphilis, and hepatitis A, B, C, D, all those that can kill you are not curable. When a man goes outside of his relationship, or a woman, to me, you're trying to kill me. That's how I look at it. Or you're trying to kill yourself. Because you will trust a piece of plastic to say, I'm safe, and to trust your heart and to trust God and to say, I'm safe because that person is not doing what everybody else is doing. Instead of having, it's better to have what do you call it? It's better to have exclusive than to have random. You know. And we talked about this. Like my son has really, at his age, has said, I'd rather be celibate than to be out there using and abusing women for my needs. I'm not that selfish. Exactly. I can take care of myself. Exactly. So we've had this conversation, and I like to share that as my testimony. He says, Mom, I've learned from my dad's mistakes. I don't respect him because of all the mistakes he's made and how he's degraded women. I honor women. He said, I honor you. And I've always taught him, I said, would you sit on a public toilet seat? He said, no. I said, well, that's the same as sleeping with a woman who slept with random men. So he said, wow, great analogy. So I'm not going to do that, Mom. So who's still left on the air? Is Minister Bruce still on the air? Like, who's on?
Yeah, I'm still here. Have any of your women read the book Shabazz?
No, I've heard.
All right. If you get a chance, you might can find it on the internet and read some of it. And Stolen Legacy and Willie Lynch's Papers. Get that to a male child. See, because a male child is calling his mother a B. He's angry. Okay. But why is he angry? We don't know the issues about his anger. All we know, he hangs out in the street. He comes in. He don't even wash his hands and sit down at the table and eat. See, wow. The thing is, how are we raising them? Are we raising them to put on a suit and tie, or a suit and a bow tie, or a suit and leave the collar open? Are we raising them that way? No. When we take them shopping, we buying hip-hop clothes because that's what he wants, because, number one, that's what his boys are wearing. A mother who lives in a rural neighborhood, she gets $300 and she buying them a pair of sneakers. She don't have a job.
That's true.
You got a young lady, I know for a fact that if I didn't throw tea parties, she probably would have been on the street.
Wow.
But see, I threw tea parties to get them to talk to each other.
Very nice.
And I was the butler. I was the male servant. All they had to do was sit at the table and listen to each other. See, you know, we talk what we don't do. I'm going to do it. You understand? There's things that y'all can do that won't even cost you no money. You tell them pimps and them hustlers on the street, you need the money for some buses so you can take these kids outside the city. They'll cough it up because they don't want to put them kids out there. Right. If he's a real man, he's not going to flip on them. He's going to get you the money. Listen, I did street ministry. You know who I relied on? I didn't rely on the church. I relied on the pimps, the hustlers that were out here. I said, you don't go to church, I'm going to come out here and preach to you. Give me 10% of what you got so I can get a bus to take these children out. You can't pay me to preach. I need a bus. All those fine and fabulous houses where I lived at, I got a bag of groceries every month for somebody who needed it. See, there's things to do. And so all you have to do is just reach out, sit down, and let God tell you what's going on. Look, they do a can drive for food every year for Thanksgiving. Listen, there's farms out there trying to get rid of turkey. Find a tractor trailer driver and let them go up there and get it from the Dutch country. They're giving away turkey. They're giving away potatoes, sweet potatoes. See, there's things out there you don't even have to buy, but there's enough, but nobody wants to do the work. Teachers, we can talk again, but when it comes down to really get down and do it, listen, every trout season, I take at least about 50 or 60 kids trout fishing.
Wow.
Teaching them how to clean up fish. You understand? See, there's things you can do. I got some women I taught how to fly fish so they could teach their sons how to tie a knot, how to tie a blood knot, how to navigate a boat. See, what they doing in school, you want to repeat in the churches. No, that's not what we do. When you teach a child, you teach them the alphabet, but you teach them that God is almighty. Don't say apple.
That's right. Well, you know.
So when he hear omega, he look at that O. He understands the beginning and the end. A man is going to die someday. Let him see childbirth. You understand? Let him see how African woman on one side of the rock and the old woman on the other side of the rock. When she gives birth, the old woman dies. That's real. That's real. See, I understand you're talking about vagina, penis, and keeping it closed and keeping it wet. Let me tell you something. Listen, I knew a young lady. She was in high school. Smart. But come from a poor family. So she turned tricks. When I found out one day, I'm driving down the road and I see her on the street. I stopped. I got out of my car and told her to get in the car. Her pen came and I told her, I said, man, either you back up or we could just get it on right now. But she's getting in this car. See, take a thing. You understand? Every night, I'm telling you, there's some young girl out there in the street driving around. You'll see it. Try to tell her to come on in. There's senior citizens in the church that will take them in because they believe in Jesus Christ. Ain't not one of them sisters that was a deacon was all straight or their whole life. No. Don't tell them that. Just tell them the truth. Yeah, I went out with a married man one time, but I gave my life to Christ. And they ask you, why you gave your life to Christ? Because I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. See, the real deal is, I've been married 31 years to this one woman. She gave me a son. I give her anything she wants. I'm not going anywhere until the good Lord close my eyes and take my last breath from me. That's it. But see, the thing is, I even tell my son, I'm not going to be here all the time, man. So you better take all this knowledge I'm giving you and use it. You could tell a young man, you got a van? Look, find a cleaners where you could do business with the cleaners. Drive around in the neighborhood, pick up the people's clothes, take the clothes to the cleaners, bring them back, give them service, and you will get paid. That's not so hard. See, because number one, we don't teach children finance.
No, but
we don't teach that in school. We don't do that.
No,
see,
we don't.
Listen, I'm a retired teacher. I'll tell you straight up. I falsified records to give a child a chance. That's what I did. I took a chance. Did I break the law? Yes, I did.
Minister, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Hello?
Okay. To interject for a second, we definitely understand what you're saying. They don't teach that in school, but there are many things you don't learn in your academic life. But there are plenty of things through community, through family, through community-based groups, through our spiritual gurus. There are a lot of different things we can learn. You don't learn everything about life from school. You don't learn everything from the streets. That's why it's a healthy balance. We understand that many of us don't get a healthy dose of it from one particular place, but it's the collective that helps to make the difference in a person's makeup, whether male or female, and especially with our young men, especially with our older men. There are many broken older men that didn't get what they needed and went a whole entire lifetime, like in correlation with my family. They are family members that are in their 60s and 70s who didn't get what they need, but at the end of the day, I found Spirit, extending my sight instead of looking just in the natural, looking spiritually, that these people all represent one thing. They are survivors. So my mission is to, as best as I can, with the vision that God has put in me as an only child coming from a family that has had so many ups and downs, let me be a part of the healing as best I can. Amen. You don't have to remain broken. With the one common core they all share is that they're survivors. So let's do more than just survive. Let's take the healing, the learning, the teaching from every aspect where we've garnered it throughout our lives, whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're in early 40s, and let's take that and see who we can help, because it's all about the collective. Each one teach one and impart. Not everyone will listen, but for those who earnestly want to change, there is a way, because you're not going to get it from one place in society. You're not always going to get it from home. You're not always going to get it from church, because there's ills in all of those places, but there can be a healthy healing if that person is willing to partake, and you're not just going to get it from one source, not in this lifetime.
Right. Amen to that. And on that note, I want to, winter's coming up, and there's a lot of people who are really in need. And I just want to put this out there. There's some help for men, which is, hold on one second, which is, we have men's help. We have Sylvia's Place, which is actually a soup kitchen, and their phone number is 212-629-7440. There's Grand Central Neighborhood Social Services, and that's 212-818-1220. We have Holy Apostle Soup Kitchen if you're hungry and in need for some clothing, dry clothing, warm clothing. It's 212-924-0167, and they're on 30th Street. We have intakes for the homeless men, and that's at 514 First Avenue in New York. We have the Collision for Homeless, which is 129 Fulton Street in New York, and their phone number is 212-776-2000. And if you want more information, go to a local library and get it at www.newyorkcity.gov. And I just want to say that, this show isn't about damning men. We want to help you. And in order to, especially for women, in order for us to help ourselves, we need our partners to be complete. We need our fathers to be complete. We need our grandfathers who are the survivors, as Tanya called them, from the broken era. We need everybody to start healing. And, as Tammy reached out and said, it's not a color thing. It's also an economical thing. And we need to teach our young children how to be better money managers. We just need to love each other. And I just wanted to say there's a few things I need to read. Oh, and there's also You are?
Yes.
Oh, this is really nice. I got some really great information. So Dee is my guest here. She's a life coach, and she's offering free consultation for all my listeners. And she's the Goddess Dreams, and her name is Dee Savoy. Savoy. Okay. Creative life coach. Her phone number is 347-913-6052, and that's 347-913-6052. And you can call her and let her know, and just mention the show, the Hunter and Friends show, and she will give you a free consultation. We also have Tanya, who is an amazing massage therapist. And Tanya, she does body scrubs. She does her travel mobile spa services. Amen to that. Body scrub, she has gift certificate, manicures, massage. She just does it all. Barber services? Are you serious?
I partner with a lot of other entrepreneurs to make this vehicle work.
What? It's a vehicle. Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. Pedicure, spa parties, and more. And you can reach her at look her up and reach her at www.travelspaeast.blogspot.com. Okay, and that's again www.travelspaeast.blogspot.com. That's hot. I like that. Like a tongue twister. And then also, you can come out, and see me every Friday here at Rural Sports Fest at 399 Huguenot Street every Friday at 2 p.m. I'm not going to be around that Friday of the 12th. I don't even know. I think the 13th I will not be around. I'm actually going to be in Detroit doing a show for the Detroit Playgirls. They have the best contest. So I'll be doing a live show out there, and then that Saturday I will be back, and I'll be doing Stealth Riders and see Red Carpet. Mm-hmm. So I'm busy. Sorry.
Okay. So they can find both Dee and Tanya's info on the Hunter and Friends Facebook page.
Yes, right. I will be actually putting that up really soon after the show. You can see my stuff at www.hunterandfriends.net. I got my T-shirts on sale. If those of you who haven't seen them, you can get one, and they're on sale. And then you have my bike nights, which is every Tuesday at the 2525 Boston Road at Gasolina. So come out, watch SOA with us. We have the best swings. And just shout out to everybody who has been there supporting me from day one. I thank you so much. There's stuff coming up in the MC. There is Wicked MC. Happy birthday, JR. Special happy birthday to you, the president of Wicked MC in New Jersey. Their party is actually tonight. It's first. Let's see, 80 Harrison Avenue in Jersey City, New Jersey. First place costume winner wins $200. Second place is $100. Third place is $50. So come out and celebrate JR's birthday with him. Wicked MC. Shout out to Ray, my boy. Also, they were also honored. They were in the paper in New Jersey. Wicked MC was honored because they dedicated a school bus lane at the Regional Day School in Jersey City. So that was hot. It's called Wicked Riders Lane. Right. Yeah, and then this November 1st, the Lost Boys Clubhouse, they have a big Halloween party that they're doing at 855 85th Street in North Bergen. And I know Exclusive Creation also, shout out to you, Omar, that he's doing his Halloween bash too this weekend coming up. So, and shout out to my boy Jeremy Warren. Happy birthday to him. Anything else you guys want to give a shout out to anybody, Minister Bruce or Boogie? Oh, and today is Dee's birthday. See, how could you sit here with me and not tell me it's your B-Day? Happy birthday.
Thank you. Well, being born on Halloween
is
it's mostly a joke.
I heard every Halloween joke there is. Like, oh, your parents must have gone trick-or-treating and got you the trick.
Oh,
that's your mask on. But that's horrible. But it's great to have a birthday holiday.
It is.
Everybody's always celebrating.
It is. It is great. Minister Bruce, do you have anything you would like to share with us before we end the show? No? Boogie, would you? Let me see. I don't know what happened. Minister Bruce, do you have anything you want to share with us during the show?
Well, yeah, I want to say God bless. Yeah, I want to say God bless you to everybody there. All the thoughts that you have, I'm taking into consideration. You give me something to preach about. But let me say this. May God have mercy on all our children. When this winter up in New York, when you see a child that doesn't have a coat, you could go to a second-hand shop, a thrift shop, find out the child's size and buy him a coat. Because every time you drive around in New York City, you're going to see some child somewhere on a bus stop with no coat. Think about that.
That's right. That's right. Minister Bruce, I got to tell you, it was such a pleasure having you on the first show. Even more of a pleasure having you on this show. I'd like to thank all my callers, my listeners. I feel so blessed to have this radio show and to have a voice, and I want to use it in a positive way to help people change their lives. And you know, I'm not perfect. I'm a work in progress. And
I want to get you on the TV spot in Georgia. There's a young lady that you can look up. Her name is Roxanne Robinson. She has a Roxanne Robinson. You can find her on Facebook. Get in touch with her, and she'll put you on TV down there on her show. She does, but she started the same way from the computer. Now she's got the TV broadcast.
Oh wow!
She worked outreach with me. When I left when I left Pennsylvania, I turned it over to her. Now she's doing something greater than what anybody expected, but God is blessing her. I'm putting you in touch with her because she's a godly woman, and she's not about mess. She's about doing.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know, it's about doing. Like I said, if you had a TV show, I would send you flyers and things that we did and pictures of people from the streets until they got their place. We stayed with them. And
Amen.
It's not spending a whole lot of money. I had a church for 3 months gave me $10,000 just to stay in the street to help the people. I did the jail. I did the prison. I did the institution. And each one is different. See what it is? You got women that are locked up. Do a drive for their children. Collect toys, clothes. Find out the women that are in prison that they got children. They can get this stuff to the children. There's things that we can do to make it better.
But you know something? I also want to say something to the people out there who themselves are hurting, because you know it's fine for people to say, "Well, I can do this." Maybe we're in a better position of strength. But I would say to those people, that there is a wound there, to come out of hiding, to seek the help of others, to open themselves, and to allow for the fact that sometimes, you know, it's when you open yourself up that this healing can come for you. And it's not always up to people to run out and heal others, but to be there and be that pillar for people and be that face for people to recognize when they want to give up that hiding of the hurt. Because once we are hiding our hurt, we're not open to any change. And so even if I buy you a coat today, it may not change anything in your life except maybe you're a little bit warmer. But if your heart is open and you recognize that there's someone out there who can give you more than the coat, that can give you some guidance and some healing and some strength, and you make yourself willing to accept it, that's when a real transformation can come for your life.
Amen.
So you have to open. You have to be open too.
Amen.
Well,
amen.
In closing, let me pray for all of you. Dear Heavenly Father, we just truly thank you in the sweet name of Jesus Christ. Lord, I ask you to open up doors, oh Heavenly Father. Let them walk down hallways, oh Heavenly Father. If they come to a door, let them stand there and call on the name of Jesus. Lord, when you open the door up, let them step through. Because, Lord, they're only doing what your son did. If a man or a woman can reach out I'm only going to say this, not to push, religion. I don't do that. I push the truth. Read the book of John. Find out what this man is about. Learn from him, and then you can teach others. Until you learn what he's about and what he did, not just in the church dressing up in a robe and stuff, hanging out in the church on Sunday, because Sunday the church doors are closed. They lock. Years ago, somebody used to be in the church 24/7, but we got scared. But I tell your women this: if you pray for that man, pray for him. Keep him under the sound of Jesus Christ. Take your time out and read about the different women in the Bible. Find yourself in the Bible. And when you do that, lean on Jesus. Because that's the only man you're going to need until he sends you a man. See, because I'm going to be straight up. My wife runs my house. I'm just the king who's preaching the message. That's it. Small thing. You understand? My wife wants something, I put it on the table. And I tell all your men that are out there that's listening, if you do the right thing, you will be the right thing.
Amen. That's right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for praying for us. And I would just like to say to everyone, thank you for being on the Hunter and Friends show. You're welcome anytime, Tanya and Dee, and Minister Bruce, and to Boogie, and to Chops, who's always, I love you, Chops. I love you a lot. Her B-Day is coming up. I just want to thank everybody who has called in. I think Pistol Pete was trying to call in. I don't know, but if I missed you, my brother, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Tammy, for coming on the show and showing your and giving your testimony and your insight to things. And again, I dedicate this show to Taquan Goodman, my friend Big Leg, his son who passed away. He was a promising young man, and God just decided that he wanted him to look after all of us. That's how I look at it. And just a shout-out to all my men, because not all men are broken. And the ones that are in the healing transformation, shout-out to you, and keep going. And to those who are broken, may God heal you. And I just want to say shout-out to my son. Oh, my God, my son. I love him so much. That's like he's my best friend. I'm the parent, though, not the friend. But
well, if anybody wants to call me, you have my number. They can call.
Okay, yes. And anyone who wants.
And like Bruce, I said, when I come to New York, I hope to see you.
Yeah, come co-host with me, Minister Bruce.
I will. Trust me. If I come to New York, I'll give you a call. Okay.
You want to say something?
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to just speak about really quickly, I mean, we're talking about the healing of, broken men and going through the different turns that entails, no matter what the root of it is. I just wanted to mention really quickly a good dear friend of mine, Jessica Marcano. She's starting young with the children. She started the Life Learning Center, and LIFE stands for Leaders in Furthering Education. It was founded in 2012, and she and I are partnered up. I'm actually on the board of her fledgling entity, and she is providing private tutoring and after-school programs to bring students to improve their grades in school and prepare them for state tests. And they provide students with the Common Core diagnosis assessments, customized student goals, and curriculum. And she's had to overcome many obstacles in her life as she suffers with some health issues, but she never let that stop her. She saw a need with her nieces and nephews to help. Although she has a disability, her mind and her spirit aren't disabled. And she has been a loving aunt to these children, and it's just been what it needed in our communities in Westchester County, New York, and beyond. And I'm helping her to start a branch in Mount Vernon, New York. And this is where it starts, with the children, letting them know that there is someone that cares enough that they get education in their head from diverse backgrounds, diverse academia, and also my mentoring group that we're starting together to help the children. It's called Mentoring in Style. What we do is take silence everyone in the beauty trade, whether you be a barber, hairstylist, wardrobe stylist, and our approach is, since we're living in a superficial society, our approach is mentoring and style, showing children that putting your best foot forward, not the most priciest, most brand name label, but the best foot forward, instills confidence, so when they go to school, when they go to their place of higher learning, higher education, they can feel good about themselves and know that these are the values that you take along with you as you go and step into the corporate world. So we have to start early for our men, our young men, and our young ladies. So this is what we're all doing to be a part of that health and healing.
While you're doing your job.
Thank you.
And you're doing your job, Dee. And Minister Bruce, I would like to announce my next show. Actually, it's going to be about not empowering anyone, but actually paying it forward. And the holiday is coming up, and I would like to ask all my listeners, all my callers, everyone to spread the word. And I want people to call in and give me their testimony on how they paid forward. And I'm actually going to do it myself. And I want to put it out on Facebook. Everyone's doing the Ice Bucket Challenge, this challenge, this challenge. I want to challenge you to pay it forward. All right? So I'd like to thank everyone for calling in and listening in on the Hunter and Friends show. May God bless you. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Minister, again, Tammy, Minister Bruce, Tammy, to Dee. Thank you so much. You're welcome, and happy birthday to you. All right, and I just want to say a big shout-out to Poppy out there. I know you out there getting those dollars, baby. Anyway, God bless you all. And for those of you in need, I know you're supposed to call on your brother and sister, but before you do that, please call on God. So, TGIF, I love you. Thanks for being on the Hunter and Friends show. I appreciate it.
My bed too, and kept it real with me. So think I would have made it if it wasn't for y'all. All the lonely nights they collected my calls. Had you wait to touch the street so I can hit it on four. Cause I be loving the way you moan and the way that you crawl. Don't need to name names cause you know who you are. Picked me up at the gate and went straight to the mall. Like you kept me doing good cause you knew it would fall. So I gotta say thanks, shorty, this is for y'all. Hey yo, fool, thanks for all them letters you wrote. You made me feel rich even though I was broke. Your words made me itch like I was fiending for dope. Well, you made me realize I love still had hope. Here's an L, fuck it up and let your mental relax. I love is still real, that's the mutual fact. You're always on my mind no matter where I be at. And no matter what, no other day will ever take that. You're in my heart, shorty rock, to death do us part. You kept it real, held me down, steady playing your part. As a trooper, must be the love we share super. You're my word, baby girl, nothing ever happens to you ever. Where would I be? And if I didn't have you and you didn't have me, I think a lot every day, but be unfortunately. That's why I say that I love you very fortunately. I know every now and then we had our ups and downs, but I know you keep it real till you're under the ground. When you prove you're the truth because you're still around. And I know times are rough because I wasn't around. So you gave me commissary till I hit the town. Baby girl, held it down for me. Is that true? L-O-V-E, maybe B-S-E-B. I just need a few weeks so I can get you that key. Hit that brand new drop top, sparkling E. Cause I know if you could, you would do it for me. These are just minor things, you get for sticking with me. You say I got game and just proper with G. And there's not too many niggas who can do it like Key. When it's just you and me, just second in the tub. But the massages, menage, watches, it's a mixture rub. Nothing feels better than the warmth of your hug. I wonder where.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.